All right, you want to kick us off, Josh?
Yeah, what's up, guys? Welcome to the podcast.
What's up, guys?
We're doing it ironically, but it's going to become a thing.
Aye.
It's going to become a thing.
I think now that we've hit number 3,
Yep.
that, this is a thing now. Like, we're going to follow through.
Yeah, no, we're committed.
Yeah.
This is 3 Mondays on the trot.
I'm pretty committed at this point in time.
Cheers, kids.
Number 3.
This is Ribena.
Of course it is. And it's just piss. Piss water.
Little pisses like that. Funny story.
Pretty hydrated.
There's an Oasis album on the cover. I can't remember what. Is it What's the Story? Morning Glory, maybe? And they're laying. There's one of them. They're all in the living room.
Yeah, they're on the floor. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's glasses of red wine around the, like just around it. They're drinking red wine. It's not red wine.
What is it?
Ribena. Because red wine doesn't show up as red on camera. It shows up as black. So they were like, oh, well, we can't use red wine, then we'll have to use Ribena. Because it makes it look redder.
So they took one picture with red wine in the cups, and they were like, "Oh, why is it black? I can't see it. We'll jump to the shops and get a bottle of rye fucking beer."
Yeah. Well, I assume they knew going in. But yeah, so there's a glass. I think there's 2 glasses of red wine. One's on the floor, one's up on the mantelpiece or something. And it's not red wine. It's
That's bullshit.
That's quite. What do you mean it's bullshit?
Sorry, did you watch? Maybe it's on some Netflix.
It's just
like
common fact, man.
Documentary. It's common fact. Okay.
I can't remember what the album is. I think it's What's the Story.
Okay. Well,
I'll
check.
You know the album cover.
I'll
I'm
look
talking
into
about,
that.
Didn't you?
They're
in the living room.
Yeah, I know the one you're
like,
talking about.
Yeah, so that's not red wine. It's Ribena.
Interesting fact. Wow. You're a very knowledgeable guy. Moving on. So,
welcome to our Oasis podcast.
Podcast. I haven't even started drinking yet properly.
I have.
Anyway, so last week we had a big conversation on goals, discipline, you name it. We were like, what's it take to plan your day and make sure that, if you've got a forward outlook, then, if you're working towards something that can build motivation and all that sort of stuff. And last week I said, I'm going to go get my stats up and I'm going to show everyone that, we practice what we preach.
And?
So a couple of technical difficulties. I don't really know how to show that I've done it on the screen here.
Technical difficulties with adding in the goal.
Yeah.
All right, I thought you meant technical difficulties in achieving your goals.
Oh, no.
Okay. All right.
But I must say that I didn't achieve all my goals. So some of my monthly goals were like, Dan, get up and do like 50 press ups a day. If you can do that, then shit. Like, but I kept going to my room being like, fuck it, I'll do it in the morning. Seriously, I'm not even joking you.
This is your mentality.
This is my mentality. It's like, just do it. What's wrong? Fucking do some press ups, man.
You're having this inner monologue.
Well, you still can.
Like a Gollum situation.
I don't know what it was, man. Anyway,
Did you do them?
I did 1 or 2 or whatever.
1 or 2 push-ups.
Yeah.
Just 1 and 2, and then you thought, that'll do me.
So, but what I did stick to was I've got my weekly planner. Here's a photo. I think I've edited it correctly. But
you've been doing that since you started.
Yeah,
right?
but last week was super quiet.
Right.
So I was putting down goals like, get yourself a lead for this, get yourself a lead for that. Right. And I just sit there because I've got nothing coming in. I'm like, how do I achieve this?
Right.
And of course, my entrepreneurial mind, I hope you've got one too, is just like working and thinking outside the box.
Okay.
So I'm calling this person who knows this person because he mentioned something about that project. And it's literally long shots the whole day. Like every single day was like long shots.
Yeah.
I didn't get a lead.
Okay.
But I fucking tried, man.
No, fair enough.
Anyways, the last week was very quiet for me.
Yeah.
But as soon as I got into work this morning, it was like pedal to the metal.
Oh, that's good.
I'm not even kidding you on. I've got about 4 or 5 new leads today, and I'm packed for tomorrow.
Nice.
And my weekly planner is very, like throughout the day, I'm just adding to this. What's going on Tuesday?
Yeah,
what's going on next week? Because now I've got like viewings, now I've got meetings, now I've got bloody client events.
Okay.
So a business centre company, which is international, has invited me to go and take part, and I'm like, right, okay. So now I've got all this planned out, as you would.
Have you got business cards yet?
I do, yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That'll be good. That'll be handy to have.
I've got a few left, so I'm very picky with who I give them to.
Right. Okay. Do you not think it's worth reinvesting that before we go to this event?
No, I've got enough.
Okay.
But it's mainly brokers.
Right. Okay.
I don't
okay,
network with too many brokers.
Because we're all cunts.
Yes and no, but there's not much benefit to me.
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyway,
so interesting that you write down your goals.
I write them down.
So you wrote down, I'm going to get a lead.
What I managed to achieve was these weekly goals and a bit of monthly goals. I wrote down a few things I wanted in like 5 years.
Okay.
And I wrote down what motivates me and what demotivates me.
And like we said we were going to do for the podcast.
Yeah, and I wrote down what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong.
Okay. You're that self-aware, are you?
I'm trying to be.
Yeah.
It's like a personal thing. Everyone's
It's
different.
an arrogance thing as well, though, right? Because there's a lot of people in our industry, but in every industry, that can't identify what they're doing wrong, or they might be able to. They won't admit to it, though, right? So I think that's a really good thing that you're able to write it down and say, I am doing this wrong.
I'm very non-biased with myself as much
That's a
as
really good quality,
as I can be. Like I can still be like a bit stubborn.
I know.
You always need a third party involved. You always need someone to talk to and say, what do you actually think of me? I'm not going to ask you this now.
Yeah, don't. No.
But like sometimes
that's quite interesting.
Sometimes you need that, because when I got arguments with my flatmate, he would point out things and I'm like, you're talking shit. You're genuinely talking rubbish, right? He has his own faults, but then on our first podcast, when I listened to that over again,
you were a total
I was
dick,
like, shit, I kind of see similar things, that how I'm being an arsehole. And then me and my girlfriend went out on Friday and we're arguing about the same, we're going in the cycle.
It's just that stubbornness.
But I realised that we're both very similar, like in the certain ways I picked up in the past weeks, man. The past weeks.
Since starting this podcast.
I'm like, shit, I'm like knowing myself that little bit more. And now I know my girlfriend is actually quite a lot like me. Like we could go round in a circle, and it got to the point like it was like 5 minutes of arguing, and I was like, babe, I focused in on what was actually happening. I was the one who focused in. I was like, right. We're actually not arguing about anything. We're both debating about different things that we're defensive about.
Right, yeah.
We're both being defensive. I can be very defensive.
You can be very defensive, yeah.
And that came up in the first podcast.
Yeah, mate, I'm really glad that this is a journey of self-discovery. I'm really glad that by doing this podcast, it's helping your relationship.
It's a small things that like I'm like, right now I can if I can
that is mad,
if I can cut down an argument with my bird, that's a massive achievement. If you can cut down an argument from
I assume we're editing this out as well, right?
No. This is good. It's really good to reflect back on like yourself.
No, I agree.
Videos, and I'm not saying the podcast helped me entirely. But
it's a good starting point.
It gave recognition to similar things that people have
We're
brought up.
forced by doing this to go over what we're saying, how we're saying it 100 times. Of course we're going to pick up things like that.
If you look at yourself down and you're watching yourself, then you're like, right, now I know how to act.
Yeah.
It's like talking in the mirror.
Yeah,
What does
I
your face look
definitely
like?
thought that first podcast we did, I was too negative in. I really regret saying my discipline is going to the pub.
You did say that.
I did say that, and that's also not true. If we're backtracking, if we're backpedaling slightly, the personal growth I've got from this is actually no, discipline is good in other ways. I will concede on that.
Your advice was like,
go and get
it's okay to be unhealthy. What's healthy is that you're happy. And I like it if you're happy, you're healthy in certain ways, but if what makes you happy is, you know, eating 5 McDonald's quarter pounders every day, then it's not going to be exactly healthy.
Yeah,
is it?
I was tipping towards maybe.
Genuinely makes me happy. I'm going to have another one.
No, it's everything in moderation. That's what I've learned. Everything in moderation. It's like you don't have a bottle of wine every night. But if having a bottle of wine keeps you happy, do it once a week or once a month. Everything in moderation. If you like having a bottle,
it comes to the point where it's unhealthy. So
you've also got to counteract that with healthy stuff. For every McDonald's you eat, you should be doing the equivalent amount of exercise to work that off. I believe. Maybe not exactly, but I do think if you're going to treat yourself to a McDonald's, you probably need to be doing something that means you're not a supersized me sort of documentary. Right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Although that probably pays more than
this. This doesn't pay anything.
Anyway,
so I pitched our podcast to, I won't say who, but it was like a home insulation company, right? They posted on the podcast. They post an advert that says we're looking for someone to promote us.
Home installation.
Insulation.
That's what I said.
You said installation.
Insulation.
Yeah, insulation.
That's what I said.
Okay, Scottish accent, I didn't know. But anyway,
I think.
So I pitched it to them, and I think I said, we will advertise you on 3 podcasts, we'll give you a shout out at the intro, and we'll give you a shout out midway through.
How many views
We've got
do you get?
No, didn't even get to that point, mate. We've got good synergy, because we're a real estate podcast, you're a housing podcast, all this sort of stuff. They were based in the UK and they're relocating to Dubai. I said, this is amazing, most of our listeners are in the UK, all 10 of them, and then most of our listeners are in Dubai. And
Belgium.
And then you've got to put a value on how much you think your advert is worth.
Okay.
So how much do you think I said our advert
I
is
think
worth?
that's something we can talk about after.
No, because it's funny for them to hear, because we got rejected, so it's just...
Well, to be honest...
We pitched it too early.
At the start of stages...
Yes, we pitched it too early.
And we're trying to advertise. Now, I think people can relate to trying to upsell. It's a big part of our game is upselling, man. I think we went over that last week as well.
Upselling?
Yeah.
No, we were going to do it this week. I'll add it to the list. Yeah, I'll add it to the list.
We'll talk about that next, right? We'll try and remember. Just write it down, yeah?
Well, no, we'll put it in.
We'll talk about it after.
We've got a script, man. I'll put it in as number 2.5. What did we say? Upselling.
So
I think we're on much better.
You got to try and upsell with everything you fucking do.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's always new potentials. There's always new opportunities to make more. If you cannot sell me a glass of wine right now, you could sell me a bottle, or you could sell me an empty bottle because I want to make my own. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
There's always something, yeah.
There's always something.
There's always an opportunity.
Right.
So go on. How much do you think I pitched? 6 adverts for this company. What do you think I said our value was?
I don't know, $20 a pop.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
We got rejected flat out.
It's $20, man.
Well, the total for the adverts, so 3 adverts at the start, 3 in the middle of the podcast. Not that we're going to sell out and do adverts for the record. I've just thought I'd pitch it for fun, just see what we sort of get. And so I said 60 for all of it, $60 for all of it. They didn't even type a response.
Fair enough.
Just declined.
Fair enough. I mean, we're just starting.
Exactly, man. And we promise never to bombard you with adverts.
I mean, if we can talk about it for 30 seconds and just say, guys, this is what we're going to talk about, blah, 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 blah.
We'll also put time codes in the description so you can skip over it.
That's not what you should be saying right now.
Oh, no.
Check out our videos. Yeah. We're going to skip your adverts.
Well, we'll also add that in the time code and we'll say, developers, skip this point. Or not developers, you know what I mean? Adverts.
Adverts, yeah. So let's talk about upselling, because technically the adverts were upselling, right?
Yeah, okay, alright.
Fine. In real estate, what's important is that there's never a no. And there is a no when it comes to the basics of things, right? You want this unit? No. Then you can try and find something else that works for them, right?
Yep.
But the point is, when it comes to upselling, what I'm talking about is, I'm coming from the UK, I need to transfer my money. Right,
We're talking additional products.
Yeah,
right, okay.
Additional
Sorry,
products.
yeah.
So I can get you a transfer agency,
Yeah,
you can do it
absolutely.
for this price. Boom. What else do you need to do? And I'm going to
Dead
open up a
simple.
mortgage. I can give you the mortgage, guys.
I need removal vans. Boom.
Removal vans.
I'm going to need Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
There's your Wi-Fi. I don't have any furniture.
Furnishings.
Boom. Here's a kitchen
I need
company.
a new kitchen company.
There you go.
There's
exactly.
there's 100 million.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
That's
I
upselling.
misunderstood.
Yeah.
I'd mistaken for cross-selling.
But at the same time, you make a fair point, and that is if you focus on something that is very similar in terms of if you only work in 3 bedrooms.
Maybe that's something we'll come back to in a different podcast because that's a whole thing on its own.
Let's
where to focus
Let's
as an
fix your
agent.
point, right? You find
My
someone.
point is perfectly fixed. Thank you very much.
I'm summing it up in a sentence or two.
Okay, all right.
You only focus on 3 bedrooms. You want a 3-bedroom, then I've got lots for you.
But then you're missing out on the rest.
You want a particular area? Well, I found a 4-bedroom by accident, but it's absolutely perfect. Everything you want except it's got an extra bedroom.
Yeah, we'll come back to this on another.
That's that's stock change. I don't know what the term.
But that's where to focus yourself as an agent in Dubai.
Yeah.
That's a whole different category.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for misunderstanding. We'll come back to it in a different podcast.
We'll move on. What's the next one?
Here. Here.
Getting commission.
Yeah.
I think this is obviously one of the most important.
Actually, no, can I just, before we get into this, a really important point, because in the UK, if you're buying a house, or if you're looking to rent a house, you don't, with rent a house it's different, but buying a house specifically, you don't pay the broker fee. You don't pay a commission.
You don't, do you?
Whereas in Dubai, the tenant and the buyer pays the commission. That's a huge difference than back in the UK. It's whoever's selling the house, or the landlord that's looking to rent it, pays a fee to find a tenant. Typically, yeah. So this is quite rare to this market.
Yeah, in Dubai, the clients who could be the buyers or the tenants
or the
looking
businesses,
to rent, or the businesses, whatever. The people who want to be in the property in the first place or own it, they're the ones that standard is they pay commission, but you do ask all the time the landlord for commission as well.
Yeah, you've got to negotiate.
You never don't ask, because at the end of the day, it's not fair that one party pays.
Yep.
And when you're leasing just a small studio and you've not got that much money, because that's what's going to happen to me in February, I'm going to move out and I'm going to be like, fuck, this guy pays a minimum fee for the apartment that I want. I've spent 3 weeks looking for one. I've found one, and I've got to fork out 5,000 dirhams.
Yeah.
Because that's his minimum fee, and that sucks.
It does.
And I'm going to negotiate it, but
you're going to be one of the arseholes negotiating.
I'm going to have to, bro.
Even though we know it's their bread and butter, but we have to. It's human instinct. You have to. Yeah.
I can't fork out that much money. I've got to pay this, I've got to pay that.
I
It's
would-
just a studio at the end of the day, renting, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, this is not really for the podcast, but just in the grand scheme of things, it's only the large companies that charge a minimum fee of 5,000. When you start looking at the areas that aren't the
Oh yeah. And I've done
the
that as
minimum
well.
fee tends to be about 2,000.
When my quality of stock drops, so I need to pay my bills.
Yeah.
So I work on both, the luxury side, as well as sometimes
Bread
the
and butter
less,
stuff, yeah.
the bread and butter stuff. I like that term.
That's the first compliment you've ever paid me on this podcast.
I see it all the time. So.
But it's a good point. And
what I was saying was that the small offices that were I would call them dog shit properties.
Like your landlords are.
Seriously, I wouldn't charge a minimum fee of 5,000.
Yeah.
5% of these properties would be like 1,500. I'd charge minimum of 2,500. And they'd be like, I thought it was blah 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 5%. It's like, I'm not going to charge you 1,000 dirhams for leasing you an office. You're a company, you need an office, blah 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 blah. And I'm doing all the same things that I usually do. In fact, it's taking me the same amount of time to lease this.
If anything more, because it's such a bad unit.
Well, not really, because it's fitted. It's say fully
Okay, you called them
serviceable.
dog shit by your own admission, for the record. So.
Yeah. Well, they are.
Well, then surely that makes them harder to rent.
What I mean by dog shit is that they are very simple in not expensive areas. If you want an office and it doesn't need to be pretty, then I can find it, and it's going to be easy. It can be as quick as you want. Quality goes down, price goes down, my commission goes down, and you know what? It's still my time, and my time is still worth something. So I'm going to charge for it. That's my minimum fee.
You're quite hot on that, aren't you? You work out like your hourly rate, don't you?
I used to.
See, I can't do that because it makes me fucking kill myself.
One fucking huge part of being a real estate agent is finding out, listen, your time is worth something. At the end of the day, you're a consultant. If you know the area, if you know everything else about it and the buildings, you're a consultant, right?
So when I was working in the UK...
You want to give as much advice as possible so that people understand what they're getting into and that your words are meaning something.
Yeah, so when I was in the UK as a conveyancer, it was a law firm, so you recorded by the hour.
Yeah.
So literally every 6 minutes I spent doing something, I had to record it in a time log.
6 minutes?
Every 6 minutes, because then 10 units makes an hour and that's how you charge it, right? So when I came in
10 minutes makes an hour and that's
every 10 units.
Alright.
So 6 minutes is a 1 unit, 10 units is an hour.
I see.
So you record it in 6 minute intervals. So you say, right, I spent 10 units working on blah, blah, blah.
Because you can say manage or whatever you need to do for that unit, it should take 6 minutes.
Oh, so the minimum time we would spend on anything. This is really bad, by the way, but if someone rang us up and went, how's my case going? It's going very well. Okay, thanks, I'll talk to you next week. Boom, that's 6 minutes. They get billed 6 minutes. Not with conveyancing, not with what I do.
And it wouldn't say in the invoice 6 minutes.
Yeah, it will. And that's pretty standard across all law firms. And if you then look at Barristers. But anyway, my point is, I dropped that mentality when I came out here. I was like, no, I'm giving a full service, doesn't matter what the fee is. And then you mentioned to me maybe 6 months or so ago, bro, you've got to look at your time on a.
Yeah.
But mate, that makes me want to kill myself.
No,
that makes me not want to spend any time on people because I'm like, right, this is a 5,000 dirham fee. I'm then going to split that with another agent, so that's only a 2,500 dirham fee. But I then have to split that with my company, so now it's only a 1,200 dirham fee. And I've already spent 3 hours putting together a list of properties with you. You now want to go out and do 3 hour viewing, like 6 hours, 1,200 dirhams, 200 dirhams an hour. I don't know if that's the right maths. We can edit that out if it's not. Like 200 dirhams an hour. Is that what I'm worth? Am I worth 40 quid an hour? I was worth 225.
That's pretty good. That's an all right wage. But what I'm saying is like, and you're completely correct, by the way. Like
thank you. Are you okay today? That's the second compliment.
Sorry,
What's
man.
going on?
I'll start making fun.
Yeah, can we go back to when I was picking up my alcohol today? Little Filipino lady behind the till.
I would have had something in my head.
So sorry if I interrupted.
Go on.
Can you hold it for a second? She goes, sir. I knew what was coming because she had a massive grin on her face. She goes, you look like... And then she paused, she forgot who I looked like.
And you were just shut up. Fucking no.
I went, yeah, Harry Potter. She went, yeah, Harry Potter. She went out the back, got her manager out, brought her manager to the front, went, Harry Potter. It's like...
You should have said...
Do I get a discount?
Yeah. Like, I would have been like, you do realise like I've changed a lot since Harry Potter. You went with it, man.
As you can see, I've grown about a foot.
Someone said I looked like Nick Jonas, and I just went, I am. Do you want a photograph?
You should say, do you mind keeping it quiet?
Just, yeah, shh. My bodyguard's over there. It's the bouncer LSB, like, I'm like, alright pal, this one, watch out.
She knows.
She knows.
Yeah,
what were we talking
bringing it back. We were talking about
we were talking about
commissions.
upselling.
We were talking about commissions.
Upselling.
Paying 2,500 as a minimum fee.
Right, upselling. And then shit offices and bread and butter.
Bread and butter, yeah.
Anyway,
You're really looking for a flat.
Bread and butter is important. If you're going to jump into tangents, I would say get a few shit properties, but not too many because the leads you get off of them can be...
time wasters.
Yeah,
if we're going back to doing it on an hourly rate, there are so many people out there that will see everything with you under the sun. They'll want to see a bit of that, they want to see a bit of that, they want to see a bit of this.
But what's important about thinking of it as an hourly rate, what I think, right? What is your time worth? And that's a big thing because everyone, obviously, like we discussed earlier, can be a bit stubborn, can be a bit arrogant, but at the end of the day, if you're good at your fucking job, then you know that what you should be spending time on and what you should not be spending time on.
I agree completely.
And that's very important because there's people that I pick up the phone to and they want something that's, not that much money, but they still don't really know what they want, but they've got a really low budget. And I'm like, listen, I'm working with all of this right now, and to spend my time on you, it's nothing offensive, by the way. Like, it's seriously, like, it's if I'm working with
business position,
if I'm working with 5 top clients that can make me, a monthly wage, and then I'm working with someone who's on stock that I have got, but they don't necessarily want it.
Yeah.
Then I cannot spend time searching for that person.
Yeah.
I have to have my priorities.
I'm a big believer of that. And this is me being self-critical, and I noticed that we mentioned this on our last podcast. When that happens to me, I will just say, I'm really sorry, I can't help you.
And I do
this
that
is
as well.
what I've got available. If you like it, it's yours. If you don't like it, you're going to have to go to another agent. But playing devil's advocate, we were just talking about upselling.
We were talking about upselling.
You could argue that if you spent the time with that person, if you educated them properly, they will take your unit, you get the commission from that, and then you can add in all these other factors.
Not with me in commercial.
Okay.
Because these people they've got a small business, or they've got a business
They're
that
looking to save
and
costs
it's
as much
risk.
as they
It's
can.
risk.
Yeah.
If you take something that's too expensive, you can't pay someone, and you've only got so much of a loan for budget. You might only have so much to use to increase your fit out quality, things like that. Everything's affected. Anyway, but in terms of upselling, I think we've covered the basics. Like
No, I was just playing devil's advocate, wrapping it back together.
You've got Wi-Fi, you've got mortgages, you've got money transfers from other countries.
Kitchen upgrades.
Kitchen upgrades.
Yeah. What else is there?
I think fit out's a big one.
Fit out's a huge one. So it's worth noting that when you're a real estate broker out here, you can couple up with these companies that offer these services, and you get a referral.
One of the best things to do as a startup company before you even get started is get the contacts for upselling, because if you don't,
when you're a startup broker, you mean, not company.
Yeah, or a company or a startup broker, because if you don't succeed in actually leasing that unit because maybe you've got limited stock, or maybe they're just arseholes and they want to. Not necessarily an arsehole because they want to do this, but the requirements change and they want to go for something bigger, or something smaller, then you can still bring them in and say, listen, there you go.
You might not be able to source a property for them,
in the background,
you can certainly sell something else.
You might not even have a really good relationship with them, but you've registered them with your leads, the guys that you have guys that you've got a good relationship with. Who will then go, oh Dan, I've been talking to your guy that you sent me.
And you'll forget you'd even sent it to.
By the way, this is the update, and da. So
no, good point.
So that works.
And it's on a subconscious level as well. If you say it to one of these clients, like, by the way, let's say DC Companies does fit outs for you. 6 months down the line, if they're looking for a fit out company, subconsciously they have taken in that once upon a time a broker said to them DC fit outs, and that will come out in their search.
There's nothing better than being the guy who knows a guy.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
It's like, I think it was Kevin Bridges who was talking about, we all knew someone who could get you a box for your TV. How true is that? We all knew a guy who could get you a box, and we all fucking loved that guy. Let me tell you that.
Go on then, on this topic, what's the weirdest guy that you've got? As an example, I've got a guy, can't go to him for anything, he's got no conversation, he doesn't really know very many people, but in this one regard, he's the go-to guy. Pillows. If I ever need a pillow, I go to this guy. But nothing else. Quilts, you can't do quilts. Mattresses, he can't do mattresses. But pillows, he's a pillow guy. And he is, not out here in Dubai, back in the UK, he is a hot shit pillow guy, man. These pillows, I can't even tell you, they're the best pillows you've ever fucking had. I shit you not. This guy is not out here, no. This guy's specialised in a niche and he's fucking run with it. He's the pillow king.
And does he sell? Is he rich? Is he what?
Oh, he's probably an absolute junkie on the streets of fucking where I grow up.
But
But
he sells.
if you need a pillow,
Then he sells someone else's pillows, man.
who gives a shit? If he
And
puts
you
me in the
can't just
right
deal with
place.
this. Is
Go on, who's the weirdest guy you've got?
I don't have any weird guys that I fucking go and talk to and say, get me this, get me
I've got a
that.
suit guy.
I've got a suit guy that I haven't used yet.
Loads of guys. I've got a plant guy.
I've got the shops.
You've got a vape guy. Do you still use the same vape outside the office?
Yeah,
you've
if you
got a
pay
vape
by
guy.
cash, you get a discount.
No, it's nice.
Right, moving on to cars.
Well, we haven't really spoken about the difficulty sometimes in securing comps. So we touched on it a little
Oh,
bit.
we didn't even fucking start it. So I wanted to start off with securing your commission.
Is not easy. And you mentioned that earlier. You said
We
you're
were-
moving in February and you're going to be negotiating if someone says it's a 5K.
That was like
fee
a 20-minute tangent.
We sort of went off there.
Wow. Anyway, so securing your commission can be difficult, but I'm not too sure how the residential guys relate to what I'm about to say.
All right, you go and then I'll tell you it from the
Right.
residential point of view.
So you've got a landlord and you've got a client, and the client can Google search the landlord because the landlord is a developer.
Okay.
He develops buildings, they're on Google. If you look at the building in Dubai, it's like buying a Gucci shirt. Where'd you get that shirt from? Well, it says fucking
Yeah.
Gucci.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna be like, right, I'll just search Gucci. You're not gonna search the guy that's selling the fucking shirts, are you? Because he's just working at a shop. Talking to myself.
Yeah, you're going to Google Gucci.
So what I'm trying to say is, right, I'm like saying to my landlord, what I do is, I really try and get to know my landlords.
Your landlords being the developers.
Yeah, or developers, or even independent. And I say to them, listen, it's pretty tough out here right now. It's pretty cutthroat. It's with other agents, it's with clients. Some clients, they
Will try
know
and cut you out.
that they want to try and cut me out.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to send you their website, their trade license, their whatever, number, name, whatever.
If
I
they
want to
contact
trust you because I'm going to send you all this stuff because I need to make sure that I get paid. And by the way, I've pitched you to pay me and you said no. Or you're a good colleague and you're a good landlord, you're a good employee of the landlord, and I've worked with you in this and this deal. I trust you. So I can send you this, I can send you that, I can send you whatever. These are my clients. And I'm working with them right now, and I've pitched them your building, right? That's how I avoid any
I've worked for you in the sense that I'm pitching you.
Yeah. So now
Don't come
there's
here,
my
yeah.
client. I'm working with them right now. So if you get a call from them, by the way, it's with me. So I need you. I don't want. You can talk to them. Of course, you can talk to them. And I know you've got your processes and your procedures, but help me out.
So, but if you would
Like-
assume then that being smart, the client that it is going to bring up. Let's say you've worked for Imar, right? You pitched Imar. I'm the client. I'm then gonna call up Imar and I'm gonna say, by the way, listen, I'm X and X business model. I've seen one of your units through an agent. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. It's between you and Damak. I'm not gonna be paying the agent this commission because then you are more expensive than Damak. So
Well,
if you
then-
don't do this deal direct with me, I'm going to go and do the deal with Damak.
Well, it depends how
What
much-
is Imar going to say to that?
It
Let's say
dep-
Imar is just any
And
example of a
Now
deal.
you're getting complicated.
Okay.
Because
But is that not how they're going
in,
to try
in
and cut you out?
commercial, if you've got power, and power comes with reputation, establishment, like whatever, like you've got a really good brand. If that really good brand went to me and then I pitched them Emar, I would not go through with Emar unless they signed an authorization letter that says I'm your broker.
Oh, so there is a contract in place
I
that
would
then
put-
stops it cutting
When
out.
it comes to the huge developers like Emar, like Dubai Holdings, I need that as part of Emar's process.
Okay,
If Emar
cool,
wants to
cool.
work with an agent, then they've got
That's
to go
really
through these
interesting.
processes.
Right, okay.
So I'll say that to my clients. And you know what? When it comes to independent or smaller developers, I won't do that because, like, they're hardly going to be hugely desperate to say, I've got so much power, you want me. If it's an office space, I can lease an office space to anyone, but I'm going to be there 5 years. Oh, but he's going to be there 10 years, blah, blah, blah. You can sign a 10-year contract and get a termination of like 2 months penalty in the end of the year or whatever.
Nothing,
do you know what I'm saying? So like, it doesn't matter if it's 5 years or 10 years. Anyway, it matters how much value you're putting into the unit.
Okay, interesting.
What I was saying though, securing yourself with that is by gaining a good relationship with the landlord's team.
Yeah.
And a good relationship with your client, of course.
Exactly.
Now,
exactly.
when I'm on the phone, and I don't know about you, but I'm like 20% life, 80% business.
Okay.
And why I say that is because, and it's only in the first few phone calls where I'm like, how are you doing, blah, 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 da, 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 da. And if we're hitting it off, we'll get into like, have you got kids? Have you got this? What's your lifestyle like? When can you do viewings? What's the business atmosphere like? Oh, I've never worked for a company like this before. What's it like in this industry? Talk to them about what it's like for them.
You've got to build a personal relationship.
Show an interest in their person and what they do. And that builds you a rapport with them because, well, one, you know a bit about them now, and when you open up, you feel more comfortable with that person.
Yeah.
They might not know as much about me as I know about them, but if they're struggling to open up, then I'll tell them about my day.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was at the gym last night, and not that I go to the gym. I'm trying to think of like mainstream examples.
No, that's really interesting, and I think in the past 6 months, right? So I work in Dubai Marina. I do apartments. There's 100 of the same apartment in every building, and it's all very transient. Out here, property isn't like a lifetime investment for most people, right? Out here, it is purely financial. These people, it's not like the UK where you invest so much into a home. Most landlords have this mentality that this is just a figure on my Excel spreadsheet that's bringing me in money. So the first year I was out here, I tailored my pitch so that I was just transient. I would say I was 95% business. I was like, this is the stock. I wouldn't even say the apartment. This is the stock you have. This is the return you're going to get. This is the return I can get here. I was really pitching it as a business pitch. What I've learned in the last 6 months is that for every 100 landlords out there that do just see it as an investment, there's 50 landlords out there where actually they've saved up their life savings for this. They've put everything they have into it. They've furnished it. They've got designers on it, or their wife has come in and furnished it, or the husband has been the one that's furnished it if it's the woman. Do you know what I mean? So I'm now probably, maybe I'm a little bit more personal, but I find the more personal you are, the easier it is to get that exclusivity.
And
I genuinely believe
that's true.
I've had that twice in the past.
Not only that, the more that you know about their person and what's going on in the background, the easier it is for you to find things to upsell.
We're tying it back in.
We're coming back. Like you can, if you find out what's going on in the background, blah 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 blah, and you find out, like for me, it's like you find out his brother's looking for a house. What am I gonna say? Oh well, listen, if you need someone, you know who to call, because I've got a team who are one of the best in Dubai and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
There you go. You want a house? I can get you one. You want this? I can get you it. Even if he says something that he doesn't, if I don't have, I'll fucking say that I do have it because I know a guy who knows a guy. I know a guy.
But I think if you break that down even more, I think, like genuinely, I've spoken to landlords out here that get in the marina. It's a highly transient, it's a high turnover place. They're getting 20 cold calls a day from real estate agents.
Oh yeah.
How do you tackle that? My initial response was, cut the bullshit. For about a year, my pitch was, hi Daniel Craig, your property's worth this much, are you looking to rent or sell it? And that worked for me for a long while, that worked for me, yeah. But what I'm finding now is that every 20 or 30 of those phone calls that the landlord is receiving is answering the same way. I'm now catching
You're
them off
too
guard.
big that's too quick a pitch.
No, I
in my
agree.
opinion.
I completely agree. Now what I'm doing, and I shit you not, I've gained exclusivity for this twice in the past week. Not this week, just gone the week before.
You're selling secrets, listen.
I am selling secrets, and fucking listen. Mr. Craig, I'm so sorry for disturbing you. I know you get 100 of these calls
Don't
a day.
apologise.
Mate, it catches them off guard.
Okay.
It catches them off guard because none of these other agents are saying they're sorry. And I think we spoke about this before in a previous podcast. Tailor it to nationality.
Role play.
No, wait. Just before I say that, tailor it to nationality. Tailor it to value of the property.
Because you get all these
The
stuff.
most expensive ones that you deal with, the most expensive properties, start your relationship off by sending an email out to them. Hi, Mr. So-and-so, I've come across your details from blah, blah, blah. Make it up. Say, my friend told me about this, I heard of you from a company. Don't say I've got your details. You've got to make an excuse that it's someone. I know you're a very busy man. Can we please schedule a call? If they don't answer, a week later, 2 days later, however long you want to give it, send a WhatsApp. If they don't answer after that, that's when you start cold calling them. Because these people that have these £1 million properties, these 2 million, they are too busy to be fielding calls. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to go through to the secretary anyway. If you've got a cheap one bed that's fucking 40k, cold call it. But try and catch them off guard. You've got to have an edge. And nobody has an edge out here. Well, that would be my... Josh's top tips. You can edit that in.
I remember my shining star and Josh's top tips. I suppose that.
Do you want a role play? I'll be the landlord, you be the client. I've got an office. Okay.
Right, okay, go. You have to dial the number.
This
Start again.
Right, wait a second. Before we do it, we're going to do a bit here. This is going to be a 5-minute bit. It's going to start off funny, then it's going to get serious.
Okay.
This is the first person you're attempting to cold call.
Brep.
Number 2.
Fuck. Right, what's the next one?
This is incredibly accurate, by the way.
Brep.
Let's fast forward, let's say 10 phone calls. So let's fast forward through 10 phone calls. Do it.
Right.
There's no editing there.
Brep.
Hello!
Hi, good afternoon. Am I talking to Mr. Ahmed today?
You are, who's speaking please?
Fantastic. My name's Daniel. How are you doing?
I'm good, Daniel. What can I do for you?
Just to let you know, I'm calling from so-and-so real estate company. I just want to talk to you because I've got a few clients behind my back right now,
Okay.
and we're very interested in the Soba 1 Tower in JLT. I've heard you've got an office there.
Okay, yeah, I do have an office there. Okay, are your clients interested in buying or selling?
They're interested in leasing, but I have got a few that are looking to buy as well.
Okay, I'll be honest with you, I'm not really that interested in selling at the minute, but it is vacant.
It's vacant, but you don't want to sell it.
I don't want to sell it, but I need someone in, yeah.
You need someone in. Fantastic. Right. Well, I can help you out. I've got a few clients behind me, like I said.
Just out of curiosity, and I'm not interested in selling, what are you
Yeah.
people looking to buy at?
So I've done a bit of research before I gave you a call. You'll be happy to know, by the way. I can lease this place out at 120 per square foot. Now, I know the people who are doing it on the listing, the portals such as Property Finder, Bayut, they're a bit overpriced. Like they're coming up at 140 per square foot. But I'll be honest with you.
That's right, Daniel. I'm not interested at that price. But tell me about your client for leasing, please.
Well, what price would be ideal for you?
What's a reasonable pause? What's a reasonable price to say? Yeah?
Just say anything.
10.
10.
Mm-hmm.
I can get you. I just told you I could get you 100.
No, I mean 10,000.
Right.
No. Okay, you just told me you can get me 100. Okay, Daniel, I'll be honest. I'm looking to lease it at 120.
120.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's possible, definitely. Could you tell me a little bit more about your office? Is
Yeah,
it
of course.
Shell and
Blah
Core?
blah
Is
blah 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 blah. But you just told me that you've got some clients. Are they going to be interested at 120?
I think they would be, depending on the quality, of course. What I'll do is, I'll come over, I'll check the place out, I'll send the photos, videos, whatever, over to my clients, and if they like it, then that's fantastic. If not, what we can do is, we can market the property if you're up for that.
And no advertising, no advertising.
You don't want to advertise your
Not initially. It's only been vacant a day. I don't want people to know my business. I want to do it off market.
You want to do it off market, okay, but you want to find the clients, of course, right?
I want to find the clients, but you've just come to me and told me you've already got some.
Yeah, well,
so why would I put it on the market if you've already got some?
Well, no, that's fantastic. That's exactly what I'm about to say. You see, the thing is that you're looking for an agent who's actually got some leads already, and that's me. I've got a few properties up on JLT, so does my team. You know what? We'll find you a lead in no time.
I didn't ask for your CV. No, that was good. I get it.
You're trying to test me.
Have you had, how many times, sorry, of course you have, but how many times have you had the phone put down there?
It's usually like I'm going into a meeting. They don't tend to.
Yeah.
They don't tend
Why
to.
did you answer your phone then?
They don't. They don't tell you that. You know, if you pick up a phone, you're available, man.
Exactly.
You're available.
Don't give me that bullshit. You're going into a meeting. You would not have answered your phone.
I'm sorry, I'm in a funeral. Everyone died in my family. Why do you fucking...
Whose funeral is it? My own.
Just spat everywhere. So that's one thing. What were we even talking about, was it?
We were role playing about securing commissions.
Securing commissions.
Okay, no. So let's carry on with the role play then.
Right.
No. Stop. I've agreed to let you in to see the client, so the clients can see the property. Your clients aren't interested.
I'm not. No. My style of work is I haven't even left my office yet. I'm still on the phone with you.
Okay.
So we've established that yes, I have a client. 2, I've to establish what your office is worth.
Yep.
3, you're still on the phone. So...
Okay, yeah, if you can get me 120, Daniel, send your clients in, that's perfect. Too early on. I think you need to build
I don't
the
think I've ever had a
relationship
fucking
before-
conversation like this.
Then you've never done residential, man. Like, there's no way. If somebody said to me,
You've never done offices either.
yeah, this is
If
true.
you're
So
strict,
so,
if you're strict
okay.
on your prices, you won't lease it. Someone's not going to say, oh yeah, I'll buy it, there you go, fuck off.
Or maybe we can't do roleplay because we don't know each other's industries.
Yeah.
In residential, in the experience I have,
So that was
I've
a
had
massive
landlords-
waste of time.
That was quite a waste of time, that.
Driving culture.
Could I start this off?
Yes.
Because I have a fun story. It doesn't directly relate.
Well, let's sum up what we're going to talk about.
Wait.
Before you
Wait.
go into an example, you can't just jump into an example.
Yeah, we've said driving culture. You know, I rang you at 9 o'clock this morning?
No, it's 10.
Okay.
No, it's 9:40, yeah.
9:40, yeah? I was on the side of a motorway
Why?
because my car radiator had blown up.
Why?
So
You drive it like an arsehole, that's
no,
why.
I haven't driven it like an arsehole because
But-
it's so fucking hot in Dubai. I've got a rental car.
It's winter.
Obviously. It's still hot,
But if it can survive the summer, it should survive the winter.
but I'm telling you it didn't.
Well,
So
then
anyway,
that's not...
This morning, 8 o'clock, I've left Laura's, 5:08, I'm turning onto the motorway. Bang! My engine fucking blows up, doesn't it?
All those...
Managed to get it into the hard shoulder. I'm on like a, like one of the overpass
Oh, right,
kind
yeah.
of. I'm on one of those, so I'm on like a fucking hill. There's traffic.
That's less hectic than it is.
It's less hectic, definitely.
So I think that's a good place
But
to be
it's
in.
still cars
You can
racing
still hit
past.
neutral and get to like a side road. right?
Bang! Lifted up the bonnet. The radiator pipe is completely sheared off where it must have just got overheated and turned just like that. The way I knew it happened, steam has just hit the windscreen like that. Fucking water's pissing everywhere. I don't know if it's oil or petrol. I'm shitting myself. I'm like, oh my fucking god.
I better take my cigarette out. So
yeah, fact. Put it into the harsh on it. 5 minutes past 8, I rang my car company. Nothing. I rang them every 5 minutes for an hour. They didn't answer until 10 past 9. Oh, sir, I'm very sorry. I had to take kids to school. It's fine. Will you please send somebody? I've broken down on the side of the road. They're normally pretty good because the engine overheated on the Sunday night at like 6 o'clock. I rang them and they were like, listen, sir, it's okay. Pop the bonnet. I'm going to talk you through what to do. You've got to open the radiator valve, make sure it's cooled down first, fill it up with water, put it back on, turn it on, and you'll be absolutely fine. But okay, fine. Left Laura's this morning.
Water.
Boom. They said water. Water does work. It's not as good as coolant, but it does work. So anyway, so I've driven off. I used to work at Halfordston, you know, I know this shit. So anyway, driven off, blown up. 2 hours I was sat on the side of the road in rush hour traffic. Cars going past. They did eventually show up, and they were very good. Didn't charge me a penny. They didn't even show up with the tow truck.
It was a rental.
But
they shouldn't charge a shit.
But they didn't show up with the tow truck. They showed up in the courtesy car. I was like, oh right, okay, that's fantastic, right. What are you doing? He was like, no sir, I'm going to wait here for the tow truck to come.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, that's really good, right?
Yeah.
But it's a fucking miserable start to the day.
Yeah, shit.
Miserable start to the day.
Well,
I haven't heard from them all day actually. I imagine they've probably tried to text me back since we've been doing
what are you driving now?
Same car but worse. And it's dirtier. And, as grateful for them as I am, the guy that dropped it off had been eating, what's the nuts that come in a shell?
Pistachios.
Is it pistachios?
Walnuts.
I don't know. Whatever nuts come in a shell and you need to
Most
unpick them and then you eat the nuts.
Yeah.
Right? He'd been eating them. So in the centre console,
Fuck
I've
off.
got loads of shells, man. Yeah, I don't even want to touch it. Honestly, every time I touch, I'm just like, oh, it's not good. So I'm hoping that I've got my car back now.
Who eats pistachios in a car?
Unless you're in open them.
Unless you're in rush hour traffic in Dubai. And he's stuck in the traffic. He's like, fuck it, man.
But I also left my building parking card in the car, so I'm parked out the front. So when you leave, I'll show you in the centre console.
That's right.
It's disgusting, isn't it?
That's not what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk.
No, but it's still driving. It's car related.
We're going to talk about something a little bit negative. It's called driving. Now, people think that driving can be nice. Let's go on a road trip. Let's go to Ras Al Khaimah. Let's go to
Which is fun.
Yeah, if you're running down the straight, it's fun. But listen, Dubai and its traffic. It's like it's. No, I said this before, right? Dubai is a little bit. It's quite small. It's not that condensed. That's the worrying thing. Is that now they're condensing behind Sheikh Zayed Road. And everything.
So that's worth noting just quickly. You've got the coastline.
You've got.
And then you've got Sheikh Zayed Road, which one's parallel.
You've got
with
like
the coastline.
3 main roads.
Yeah.
You've got
basically it's busy. It's busy.
The main roads, right? The 2 big intersections, which are like 7-8 lanes long, wide, is Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Road and Sheikh Zayed Road.
No. Sheikh Zayed Road is the main one.
Yeah.
And
but
then you've
Sheikh
got
Mohammed bin Zayed Road is the back road.
Yeah, the trucker road.
And that's
Truckers
a big fucking road.
But that's a good road because there's no tolls on that.
But everyone.
I like that road.
Everyone crashes there.
Yeah, they do.
So
I know the reason.
If there is a crash in Dubai, which there's about 2 or 3 every single day, let's be honest.
At least, no, I would say more times than not, I pass a crash on my journey. Or the debris of a crash on my journey.
Debris, whatever the fuck, man. Like, there's at least 3 crashes a day. And then you don't
Just
know.
on your journey, though, I'm
Any
saying.
journey.
Yeah. I'd say you're likely to pass 3 crashes on your journey.
No, that's bullshit.
No way, man. I almost always pass a crash on my journey.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is there's 3 a day, you pass 1.
No, Okay, fine.
All I'm saying is that you're gonna see
There's lots of crashes.
the residue of a crash. There's at least 3 crashes in Dubai
You're
per day.
almost certain
Depending on where you're going.
crash. Yeah, fine.
You could be on any road. And that, if there's a crash during rush hour, like your journey might go from 25 minutes
to an hour and 25.
which on Google it says 25 minutes, but it's actually like 35 to like 45 minutes on Google to what's probably an hour, unless you drive like an arsehole. You drive like a casual being, like.
Game over, mate. Game over. You can't drive like a casual being.
You don't do automatic. I'm an electrical car. Blah blah blah. Well, you can't. You can't. Otherwise, you're gonna be stuck somewhere, and you're just gonna be like, "Well, I'm glad I've got an electrical car. Because now I can fall asleep behind the wheel."
Lane discipline doesn't exist.
No one knows how to merge.
Yeah.
No one knows what undertaking and overtaking is.
Yep.
There's like, obviously, only tall
buildings. I would say 9 times out of 10 I'm undertaken more than I'm overtaken.
There's only tall buildings.
Yeah.
Meaning that everyone is parked there, and when they want to leave at 8 o'clock, it's like
they all
50
swarm
fucking
out
cars.
together. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. They
And
started
that's
like
literally
there's
all they did,
2 main roads, and we'll just build everything there, there, and there,
Yeah.
and it's just mental into it.
But anyway, so the reason I've heard for the poor driving is all of the facts that you've just said, of course, because you're a genius.
Thank you.
But what it is because Dubai is such a multicultural place, it attracts all these different countries that have all these different driving laws. So in the UK, we're taught that there's a fast lane, which you only use for overtaking, and then there's a medium lane that you also use for overtaking, and then there's a slow lane, but the slow lane you're supposed to drive in constantly, and you're only supposed to use the other 2 when you overtake. However, if you look at a different country, for example, Russia doesn't have the same rules. Russia is a free-for-all. India is a free-for-all. And it attracts, just wait 1 second, and it attracts all of these countries into one place. And the driving laws out here are pretty lax. You can go, I think it's until you've got your visa, you can drive on your country's driving license. And that's what it is. It's because Dubai is full of loads of other countries driving with loads of other rules.
Right. There is a fast lane, there's a slow lane, right?
Not here, there isn't.
There's an in-between. Right. What there is that everyone is conscious that there is a fast lane.
And everybody wants to be in that fast lane.
Fact. Right?
So it's also worth noting.
I'm like, you bastard. Put that. Fuck you. It's fucking not.
It's so illegal.
Same.
As soon as we start driving, we cannot text and drive.
It shouldn't be allowed.
But in the UK, till what? Till the 80s, 90s, even the early noughties, you were allowed to text and drive. If my dad came over here, he would fucking jump at the chance to be on his phone whilst he's driving, because that's how he was taught to drive. What I'm saying is there are other countries, I agree, but the rules are still quite lax. These people from...
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's just like...
That's my point. Your point is nothing. My point is that these countries... My point is that these countries where it's not so colonial, where they can test when they're driving, they come over here. Yes, they have to do a test to convert their license, but what do they do before they get their Emirates ID through? They're driving on their own driving licenses.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are. Same way we were. We didn't have to convert our licenses until we got our Emirates ID.
That's illegal.
No, it's not illegal.
Just like driving and texting is illegal.
It's not illegal.
I was hired by.
If you're on a visa, if you're on a tourist visa from whatever country, you can drive on your country's driving license. You don't need to convert it until you get your Emirates ID through and you're on a permanent visa, residency visa.
I'll call that up if it's wrong.
What do you mean?
What we're talking about.
We've rambled quite a lot, haven't we?
Yeah.
We haven't even started talking about potential. We'll save that for later. Listen, we promise we like Dubai. There's a reason we're still here, right?
Yeah.
We like Dubai. We feel like we've been quite negative from our first 3 podcasts. It's a fucking amazing place, I tell you. It is beautiful. It's gorgeous. The potential is there. The sun is there. The sea is there. It's endless possibilities. We said before we started this podcast, It's the American dream 50 years ago. The American dream nowadays is unachievable. Here, it absolutely is achievable.
Business is easy to do.
Yeah.
Living, as long as you make money. But the lifestyle is very, very easy.
Yeah.
It's easy to live here and it's easy to be.
100%.
Yeah.
Right? Even if you're broke, it's quite easy to live there. I think that's true.
I think it depends where you're from and what your social thingies are.
But anyway, we're going to come back to this next week. Next week is going to be a positive podcast.
Next time we're going to talk about the potential and how much and what's out there to grab. What can you do with yourself?
So much, man. There's a reason so many different cultures come here.
Yeah.
And some of these cultures don't live a particularly good life here, but they're here because they'll make more money than they do back home. That's fact. And they want to send money home for their kids. Dubai is a fucking amazing place. It really, truly is. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't, and you wouldn't be here if it wasn't.
Yeah,
definitely. So we promise to come back to that. We sound like negative ninnies.
There's a lot of potential when it comes to just any job, but when it comes to real estate,
it's uncapped potential.
Certain things can be addictive, and we can talk about that as well.
That's a very good segue. Next week we're also planning on getting Lorenzo on. And although this is a podcast called Two Brokers, Lorenzo is one of the more successful brokers.
Well, it will still be two brokers.
It will still be two broke brokers.
Someone who actually is not broke.
Yeah, exactly. So that's going to give you, actually that will then tie it in all quite well, because Lorenzo is someone who came out here, met his potential straight away, and has just been continuing to reach his potential and grow his potential. So next week's episode, we're just going to call it Potential, and we're going to have guest star Lorenzo.
Guest star.
He listens to these as well, so he should probably edit that out. Yeah.
Well,
okay, yeah. So that's what we're going to do next week. We're sorry if we seem like we've been whining quite a lot this week and for the previous 2 weeks. We appreciate you listening. Like, comment, subscribe. We're off to order a pizza.
Good night.
Catch you later.
Thank you. Cheers.